And what you want to disclose is...
Yes,
Do you want me to say it or you to say it? I don't know. What's the appropriate etiquette here?
Well, I guess I should be able to say that I'm a lesbian, and it was a later in life recognition of that fact.
That was Meredith Baxter coming out on the Today Show just 2 years ago, and many people were shocked by the revelation. I was just shocked she did it so early in the morning. I would have waited till noon myself, but that's just me. She's back with me now. Wasn't it nice to say I'm a lesbian? That must have been...
No, it was not.
It was not?
It was like,
Why
I was
not?
waiting for him to say it.
Oh, really?
It was like when he said, you have something to tell us, it was like, well, go on, Matt. Do I have to say this? No, I thought, I was watching this, I remembered, I thought I was going to wet myself. It was just horrible.
What made you decide to do it on television like that? 'Cause that's before the book, so...
Well, it's sort of like I didn't decide. It was sort of the same way I got married, Howard.
Howard is her publicist. Should the people in this show always refer back to their publicist?
May you always have a publicist in the wings. Howard was there to help me deal with the fact that I'd been on a lesbian cruise, and there were some rag sheets, tabloids were coming and asking questions, and I knew from past experience they were going to make up stories with a kernel of truth and elaborate on something that became their own, and they would run with it, and I would have no voice in it.
I see.
And Howard said that the only way to claim it was to come in and, usurp it, beat them at their game,
And you did it?
Yes, I did.
So was it a relief?
Not at that time, but I said as soon as we left the building, Nancy was sitting in the wings. And
Nancy, your present girlfriend?
My darling.
Your
my
love.
darling.
Yes.
As soon as we left the building, it was... And it was quiet. It was raining. We were under a huge umbrella. It was slight, misty rain. It was very cold. And we just walked, and it was so peaceful. It was like I did not have any burdens anymore.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
It's awful to have to keep a secret like
yeah,
that.
and even though it wasn't a very extensive secret, it was like, they all know now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter now.
Now, you write in the book that you had your first sexual relationship with a woman in 1992, right?
92, yes.
And then you married, so you had this, okay, you might have thought to yourself, hey, maybe I like ladies. But then you married...
I never thought that. I cannot explain so much. I adored the woman so much. She was such a good friend. But it seemed like just the next natural step in our relationship, but it was not very sexual to me. So I thought, well, there's this guy over here kind of paying attention to me, and I'm desperate for someone to pay attention to me, so how about you?
So you married a guy. You got married another time then.
Yeah.
And that didn't last, though, right?
It couldn't have lasted.
No.
I had learned nothing about why I got into relationships. I didn't know that I was... run by this engine of take care of me. I didn't ever see what my part was, that I too had that agenda. And I knew everything about him that I needed to know. The great thing about this guy, he didn't hit me. He didn't denigrate me.
Yeah.
I was his.
So he compared to the other one, he was great. Yeah.
Everything I needed.
Okay, so then you divorced him.
Yes.
And then in 2003, things changed for you sexually. What happened then?
Do you know, a woman moved into the guest house, my guest house, and I live in a private street with it's a gated house, not some big thing. It's just a modest little house. I knew she was gay, and it is, I just started being very aware of where she was all the time.
So you thought yourself attracted to a woman?
Yeah, I'd never, no penny dropped and went, oop. I didn't have any label for it. I was like,
yeah.
Where's she? Oh, home. Okay, good to see she's home.
Yeah.
And, we'd go to movies together, we'd take walks together, something. And I went away on a job for a short bit, and we texted each other. And it became decidedly...
romantic?
Yeah. It was, they were provocative texts. And it was like, she was 25 years younger than me. I was like, this...
Well, men do it all the time, big deal.
It was a big deal to me.
I know, but only because you're female. Every guy who's 50 loves a 25-year-old girl, and they go along with it, if he's got money.
Oh, this is a whole other conversation.
I know,
I just don't even know how to have this one.
You know, I have to ask you one question about gay women, because I know a lot of women who are in your situation who were married, not a lot, several though. They were married for several years, and then at some point they realize that they're gay.
Right.
And two things. First of all, were you faking it with the guys in bed or not?
No.
You were not. So you were
It
enjoying
wasn't to fake, because it wasn't always... No, I wasn't faking it. That's all I'll say. I'll be kind, I'll be politic, yes.
All right, we can read between the sheets. And then, what do you think is the truth of all that in retrospect? Like, you're straight at one point with guys, then you're gay with women. Is it that you were gay all along, do you think?
I can't speak for anybody else, because I've heard many people talk about that same story, and people would say to me, "You were living a lie," which I truly wasn't.
Yeah.
I was so unself-examined. You know, I was just looking to keep my head above water.
Yeah.
You know, every day my mantra, living with David, was, I can live through this. I can live through this.
Yeah.
Because I was just fighting the pain all the time.
Yeah.
I never stopped to go, what do you want, Meredith? You know, what's going on with you? What would you like? Never occurred to me. So, you know, I just sort of did what I'd watched as a child. Right. You know, we just learn from those around us, and that's what I saw. So that's what I went to.
Yeah. And yet you were very successful in your career.
Again, a totally different subject.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with my private life. I really learned to compartmentalize that when I'd go to work, home life didn't exist. So I could be happy and constructive and creative and a contributor, and they liked me, and I was free to be who I wanted to be.
Okay, now I have a little surprise for you.
What's that?
Michael Gross, remember him?
Yeah.
Your co-star on Family Ties is on the phone now.
Michael!
Hello, Michael.
Hi, Meredith. I swear to God, I'm not stalking you.
That was going to be my question.
They invited me.
We invited him to come on and talk to you.
And as she never returns phone calls, this was my only chance to do it.
You know, the old Meredith Baxter would have returned the call in 2 seconds. The new one says, maybe I'll return it.
No, the truth is, if it was Michael, I would never return it. I love this man. I love this man. He was my dearest friend for 7 years, intensely doing Family Ties.
And vice versa, my dear.
And he and his wife Elsa and Nancy and I have been out several times together, and we've done work together since then. He is the dearest, most loving, most supportive guy.
At the time that you were friends and working together, Family Ties was on the air, and you were with Bernie at the time, right? So, Michael, did you detect any kind of unhappiness? Did Meredith display any tension at home or anything? Did you pick it up?
No, she was very good at hiding who she was and what was going on. And part of that was my I was complicit in that, and I'm a clueless human being at times. And so I wasn't looking for anything because, in a sense, I had bought the PR, the perfect Hollywood marriage. They were being interviewed all the time. This is the Hollywood marriage that works, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I chose to believe the best. Yeah.
Yeah, but what happened when she told you?
When are you asking me what happened when I learned?
When she broke down and told you, what happened?
Well, no one could have been more surprised than I, and because Meredith is and still is a very private person, and so I was shocked and a little appalled, because I think I see this bright, intelligent, funny, talented woman, and I think, oh, okay, she's in control of her life.
Yeah, it looks like that, like on the surface a lot of times. You just don't know what's going on behind closed doors, do we?
No, poor baby. It was like the deluge. You know how you're just fine, you're doing all fine all the time until someone touches your cheek and says, honey, and I was gone. I was gone.
Yeah.
And
it's always the kindness that someone shows that makes you break down.
Meredith, I was so glad it was to be honest with you, because it began, I think, to forge our relationship in a different way. I mean, we were confidants about certain things, but that was the beginning of the turn of the corner, and we've been close ever since. And I cherish this relationship.
Oh,
Thank you, Michael, for calling in.
Thank you. I love you so much, Michael.
Meredith, that goes for me, too. Where are you going to be tomorrow so I can call you again?
Would you answer? Will you return the call this time?
No.
I got to go, Michael. Thanks so much for calling in.
Thanks, honey.
So lovely to meet you.
Give my love to Elsa.
I will do.
Really lovely to meet you, Meredith.
Thank you, Joy.
I mean, we did meet once before, years and years ago, briefly.
I didn't think you'd remember.
Of course I remember. You're a big star. I remember. Thanks for doing this. Good luck with the book. It's a terrific book. It's a great read. Everybody wants to read it.
Great, and I hope you do.
And they will. Okay, Meredith's new book is called Untied, a memoir of family fame and floundering. We'll be back in a minute.